friends! So I'm going to be doing a behind the scenes of a painting that I've been working on. Now in 2025, one of the things I've noticed is that I've been leaning into paintings that are lovely and wet. I just love the soft effects. I mean, these are things that just makes my heart go, ah! And when it comes to watercolor, I'd say that it is the transparency of the paint. It's the way in which they move into one another and create some of those blends. It's something that you can't get in acrylic. I would love to hear what exactly is it about watercolor that draws you, but I also want to admit that water control was probably something that I really struggled with for years and years, and I could see how water control was one of those things that I didn't know was impacting the way my paintings turn out. I would either paint like this, where it was super duper light, and I would get a lot of these hard lines all over, and I would attempt to add layers. And as I was adding in some of those layers, I would also see that the overlap or the transparency didn't really turn out like how I wanted to, because I would get some of these outlines as well. And at that stage, I had no idea, because to me, I felt like, oh, I've been painting for a while, things should work out. And then I tried to add layers into some of my florals where I wanted to add in darker centers, but it would never work out. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 key ideas related to water control that I have learned and I have been teaching artists inside of Brush Movement Collective. These 3 ideas are basically going to give you more information around how water is not just about how much you pick up, but really how you are observing the relationship of the way it is being applied on your paper, the timing, and so on. So if you're ready, I can't wait for you to sit down with me, take out your brushes and paint as we explore the idea of wet in wet and what you can do to help yourself to progress with getting some of those beautiful watercolor effects that you have been dreaming of. If you're anything like me, you would have sat down, watched someone else paint loose florals, and wondered why their paintings feel alive, while sometimes yours feel a little hesitant, a little tight, even though you might be following the same steps. Today, I invite you to come into my process as I paint in my absolute favorite way. I love painting wet in wet, and this is something that I enjoy expressing with, specifically with water. Now, speaking of water, this is something that I see across beginners, advanced beginners, and sometimes even seasoned artists. There is a very specific gap that almost everyone skips without realizing. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Most artists go straight from step 1, learning brush control, basically knowing how to make your expressive strokes, the petals, the leaves, and then they jump directly into step 3, missing step 2 altogether. And at step 3, they are basically working on layering, adding depth and detail, but really, step 2 is where the real magic is at. This is where most artists unknowingly struggle. Step 2 is learning to paint with water, not paint despite water, because watercolor is not just pigment. In fact, it's pigment that is carried by water. So today, as you watch me paint, I want to walk you through the 3 essential ingredients that form the heart of water management. Ingredient 1. Your brush is not just a mark-making tool. It is actually a water control device. Now, most artists only see their brush as something that creates shapes. But your brush is actually a reservoir. It's carrying water, releasing water, and absorbing water. It decides how juicy your stroke is going to be, how far your pigment travels, how soft an edge becomes, and whether color blooms or stays crisp. Every brushstroke is not just a motion, but really it's delivery of water. So when you learn to see your brush this way, something starts to change inside your mind, because you stop asking, why is this happening? And you begin asking, what did I load my brush with? Do I have enough paint? Or do I have too much water? Now, this awareness is the foundation that many stage 2 artists should be equipping themselves with. Ingredient 2 is the water on your paper has a life cycle. Now, this is the part everyone forgets, because the paper that you paint on is not passive. It's actually actively changing second by second. When you lay water on the page, you are beginning a timed process. What stage is your paper? Wet, moist, damp, almost dry, fully dry, because each stage begins to behave differently. Now, if you have ever thought, why is it that my brushstrokes are leaving a hard edge, or why is everything a backflow, or why is this blend beautiful when it was wet and then when it dries it's something else? Now, the answer has nothing to do with your skill, because this is really about timing, the stage of water on your paper. And when you learn to notice the state of your paper, you are going to gain a new level of calm and stop wrestling with watercolor and instead begin partnering with it. This can be one of the most freeing mindsets, to realize that water behavior is not personal. In fact, it is predictable once you know exactly what to look for. Ingredient 3 refers to the timing between your brush consistency and paper wetness. Now let's bring the first two ingredients together, because this is the part where many artists say, oh, but that's where my petals always bleed, or that's why my layers always look chalky, or okay, that's why I can't achieve softness without losing my structure. Because every stroke that you make has two components. Number one, your brush. We need to know what is the consistency inside it. Is it loaded with more water or paint? Number two, the stage of the water on your paper. We want to know how wet your paper is when you are putting your brush down. Now, when these two things align, you will achieve the exact effect that you want. All this alignment is the heart of how you express with watercolor. And this is where painting stopped becoming like guesswork and a lot more intuitive. Now, where do these ingredients take you? When you start to combine the awareness of what your brush is carrying, the understanding of your paper's water stages, and the timing between the two, you will get a level of freedom that most artists spend years searching for. Water will stop feeling like something you need to control and be something that you can collaborate with. Now, if this is something that you want to deepen, you want to finally understand water in a way that allows you to paint with more flow, then I would love for you to explore From Blobs to Bloom Season 1 and 2, because we take these ideas and bring them to life through practice with some real brush in hand type of work. Because expressive watercolor isn't about perfection, it's really about understanding. Once you know the foundation of the why, you can express anything. So as you continue watching my painting slowly build up layer by layer, I want you to hear this. Watercolor isn't difficult, it's often misunderstood. And now, today,
the moment that you are here with me, listening and painting along, you are going to see it differently.
If you stayed to the end, I just want to basically reward you and tell you that when it comes to skipping over the idea of understanding water in watercolor, what happens is that we then get stuck at stage 2 in our journey. And as I've mentioned, our watercolor journey goes through different stages. We can't just go from beginner to advanced. In fact, so many of us get stuck in the stage where, because we don't understand water enough, we find it hard to layer, and that's something that our stage 3 artists are focusing on. When you add layers, you're creating dimension and you're creating more volume in your paintings. Now, if we are at that transition stage between stage 2 and 3, which I can gets really frustrating, because this is often the stage where a lot of artists think that by having a good foundation in their brushwork, and that they will be able to move over to the space where they get to finally add dimension and layer. However, that in-between stage is really developing the muscle memory of knowing how much water you should have in your brush so that your layers are going to look seamless. You're going to get less hard lines, less cauliflowers, and a lot less troubleshooting. So if you're not sure what stage you are at, first I would like to invite you to find out your stage, because I will be providing you resources pegged at your stage that could be helpful for your practice. Number 2, the skills that you have learned in this video is exactly what we do inside of our workshop, From Blobs to Blooms. We have got 2 versions right now, 1.0 and 2.0, and these were just based off the questions that our members have asked inside our Brush Movement Collective. Now, I would love for you to go and check them out, because this could be that one skill that you need. And with every of these one skills, it's also important for us to stay focused. And I know we are just so excited about watercolor. We want so much, we want to do so much. It could be with our colors, it could be with our brushwork, it could be with looseness, it could be with everything. But what if I told you that the moment you're able to work with water instead of work against water or try and control it, you're going to see such a difference in the way you paint, where your paintings can finally look soft and you are better able to control and identify what effects you would want to have in your paintings.